Focus a little bit on the Browns beating the Bengals to end the season on a high note. Our Myles Talk today brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays feel different during basketball season. FanDuel making them better every Friday night before the games tip off. FanDuel is giving fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. It is the official NBA pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. So before tip-off, head over to the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA's Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time. A little basketball, a little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That is NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Guys, Myles Garrett is the new single-season sack king with 23. He got it in the fourth quarter against the Bengals
About
yesterday.
5 minutes left.
Yep. It got a little hairy there.
Got a lot hairy.
A little bit. I didn't think he was going to get it between the game plan Cincinnati was showing, between how they were getting the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands quickly. I was a little worried. We talked about it on the postgame show, and even you, Myles Garrett's biggest supporter, said I had some hesitation. It didn't look like it was going to happen, but Myles did get the record, and he now has cemented himself with the single best pass rushing season in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I was nervous because anytime they put your mom and dad on camera,
I know.
that puts you in a.
They went to Cincinnati for this.
They was at Natty. They had his mom and dad on there. His dad had one of the most gigantic transformer. He looked like he had Soundwave that transformed. Nah, that camera. Oh yeah, that camera he had looked like a transformer, dog. I'm like, dang, bro, you got Soundwave on here, bro. It transformed into the whole thing. It had the biggest. I'm like, that looked like it could see through walls. But anyway, shout out to Myles Garrett. I was nervous because, again, I went to Bull's point earlier. For the last 4 weeks, their game plan for Myles Garrett has been grade A, perfect. They got people down there chipping. They got another back over there.
Three of them.
The quarterbacks don't even be looking downfield. I was like, I knew the Browns had a chance to win this football game after they got those little 2 turnovers and got points because
that was their only chance.
That was the only chance. They went into the Aaron Rodgers bag.
Yeah.
Where Joe Burrow was just looking at one time on the scramble, Joe Burrow was looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Look over your side. It's like the Jackson 5. Look over your shoulder, honey.
Like I will say, two very
look over your shoulder.
Two very bad takes that I've seen since this game. By the way,
I know where you're going.
One that the Bengals did the same thing the Steelers did is ridiculous.
He knew he was going to be sacked, and he made a business decision.
Well, no. That's the Michael Strahan comparison, the Brett Favre comparison.
Yeah, I thought that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm saying like that the Bengals just cared about preventing the sack record. I don't agree with that at all.
No. I mean, it weighed into their game plan.
It did, but like they ran the ball a lot because they were running it effectively for the most part.
Usually, but Myles Garrett was.
Yeah, right.
You know?
But the Michael Strahan comparison is ridiculous. Joe Burrow was going to get hit.
Yeah, he just said, I'm going to go down.
Like,
He made the right decision. I can either let him absolutely swallow me up, or I can go down and let him
Michael
tap me.
Strahan, there was nobody else around in that situation.
The Favre sack was not inevitable.
Right, this
sack was inevitable. He was going to go down.
He jumped the snap count perfectly, and I thought to myself,
I even thought they might flag him.
Yeah,
I thought he moved before anybody else moved.
It was crazy, and I said the only way he's gonna get this sack record is if he jumped this snap, and he jumped it perfectly. And by the time he got to where Burrow was like, oh yeah, it's a wrap. Let me go ahead and get down or lay down. And look. I look at it from a standpoint, and I just say this about Myles Garrett. Like, I'll be happy to see it because growing up, man, we don't got nothing we can be proud of, right? So even when we talk about this thing in the game, like, I get pride from seeing my team do well. I get pride from seeing Joe Thomas. I watched every moment of Joe Thomas's Hall of Fame induction because for us, we don't got that. I think a lot of people don't understand. My team ain't never been to no Super Bowl. My team ain't never been sniffed no Super Bowl. The closest we done came is Bernie, and I was emotional because Bernie was out here fighting for his life. And I'm like, man, he's the last vestige of any good and solid and decent thoughts about my team. If he go, I feel like a dude that's passing along knowledge that don't come along for young people. So with Myles Garrett, they draft him number 1. He's exactly what you hope to get out of a player in the top at number 1 overall. For him to come out and be generational, which he's done.
Especially a defensive player.
Especially
if you take a defensive player at number one, he better end up being Myles Garrett.
And the fact that he not only lived up to that, he's been awesome. And I'll give him credit for this. He took a lot of heat for asking for a trade. He took a lot of heat. There's a lot of people that said, I'm going to look at Myles differently. I'm going to root for him as a mercenary. He's not really about the city, and he's not really a leader. And you know what he did? He took that and internalized it, and all he did is come out was have the best year of his career, earn another Defensive Player of the Year, and break one of the most iconic records in all of sports. And he did that in a year when arguably he had nothing to play for. Nothing. So he came out here and did that. The fact that if somebody's with the Browns jersey that can be in the books, that is going to be in the record books, I look at that as a sense of pride, because I can look and say, as a guy that is a defensive end that like trench play, I can say, hey, Browns ain't been good. We ain't found a quarterback. We ain't got these receivers. We ain't got this. But I can say, arguably, I done seen two guys in Joe Thomas on offense and Myles Garrett on defense be two of the greatest ever put uniforms on. So for me, as a big dude coming up, growing up, playing offensive line with my hand in the dirt, that's a sense of pride for me. And I couldn't be more ecstatic. I don't care what happened during the game. That point, I was a kid in a candy store, and then to put it on top of it, we got a game-winning field goal. We went down there. We had no chance to win this game. We come down and kick a field goal, and our other rookie, Andre Schmidt, who shows dividends, he kicks a field goal. So guess what I got to do? I got to end my year and start my year with beating Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and beating Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins all in a day, and Myles Garrett broke the record. I'm going to take it. I was ecstatic yesterday.
I was too.
I got a stat for you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the stat maybe of the year.
Okay.
Maybe of the year. And I wish Steve, don't take tag board because tag board's not working. Shocker. On the game ceiling sack, according to Next Gen Stats, Myles Garrett had a get-off speed of 0.17 seconds.
I believe it.
Ready
he anticipated it perfectly.
Just it gets better.
Nobody moved.
0.17. For comparison's sake, these are the other Browns defensive linemen, and then I'm going to compare it to something even crazier. Myles, 0.17. On that play, Shelby Harris had a 0.77. Cam Thomas, 0.87. Aiden Huntington, 0.67. So significantly faster, right? Mm-hmm. Myles, 0.17.
Got it.
According to Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports, who's very credible, I'm going to read the exact tweet he sent out. For context on the absurd Myles Garrett 0.17 second get-off time, when Usain Bolt set the world record in the 100-yard dash in Beijing in 2008,
I knew it.
His get-off time, 0.165 seconds.
Wow. That's wild.
Absurd.
It is
We'd love to
absurd.
show you the graphic, but...
Well, there's so many things that are absurd about Myles Garrett. I've never seen... You think about these last three games against Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, and the teams completely adjusted. Like, Myles Garrett put up almost no traditional stats the last 3 weeks.
Boy, did he
and yet he was the most impactful player in those games. And when do you ever see that? Like, when do you see good offensive teams, Pittsburgh mediocre, but Buffalo and Cincinnati good offensive teams, react the way they did to facing Myles Garrett?
I'll go a step further.
Yeah.
One of them is a surefire Hall of Fame quarterback, and the other two are very, very, very likely ending their careers in Canton.
Yeah.
So he likely, in this stretch, and a lot of people say, well, he only had one sack down the stretch.
Yeah.
He clearly was the most impactful player
100%.
in all three of those games.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Burrow, and their number one priority was 95 cannot touch me, or we're going to probably lose the game.
And you don't do that with, and there's not another player in the league.
And they won two of the three games.
There's not another player in the league, Jay.
No.
And here's the thing. When you're Michael Strahan, who's on a great Giants team, or you're TJ Watt, or TJ Watt, who was on a good Steeler team.
You're playing with leads.
You're playing with leads. It's not only the pass rush attempts, but it's also like the Browns' opponents are throwing more often in advantageous throwing situations or unknown. Whereas with Strahan and Watt, though the teams they were facing had to more often
throw more often.
Right.
Because they were down.
Right,
They
exactly.
both played on playoff
and in
teams.
unadvantageous passing situations.
Yes, where Myles
Garrett had very little
How many
of those.
fourth quarters did he play in where the offense probably threw fewer than 5 passes?
I mean, it's just remarkable. Not to mention those guys had way more talent around them. We agree. The talent around Myles is better now, but those teams had way more talent around them.
This rubbed me the wrong way. I like Michael Strahan, met him.
Yeah, I didn't like
interviewed
what
him,
he said.
Hated what he said. Because
I missed that. What did he say?
he said, well, it needs to be pointed out that I set the record in a 16-game season.
Nah, I don't care.
Here's why that's, oh my God.
We'd have to do that for every record.
Here's the thing. If I'm going to put an asterisk next to either one of those two, Myles because he needed 17 or Strahan, I'm putting next to Strahan because Strahan's 22.5 sack was a gift.
That's right.
And everybody knows it was a gift,
Jay,
including Strahan.
But beyond that, if we're going to start deciding, especially in football, you have to put an asterisk next to every record.
Every record, because we used to play 12 games.
We play,
Then 14.
Then 16.
Now 17.
Are we going to have a record holder for each one?
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's just
No,
stupid.
to me,
I get
you
it.
said it. I couldn't agree more. That is what we just witnessed is the greatest individual defensive season I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
By a pass rusher, certainly.
I mean, Deion had some
I don't know how you
years.
compare it to Deion
No,
Sanders.
I know. It's very difficult
It's
to
hard,
apples
but
and oranges.
in terms of pass rushing, yes.
Deion had that kind of impact because with Deion, half the field was off limits.
Yeah.
His side of the field you didn't throw on.
It's crazy.
So he had a big impact. And maybe analytically you can give me some sort of proof that there's been a more impactful season by one player. But for my money, I can't remember seeing a more dominant defensive season from any player other than Myles Garrett.
It's so funny. In past years, I've said both on the radio show and in the 3 years we've been doing this, I often said before this year, like, I think there's another level of Myles Garrett. I think there's another level. And people often took that as I was knocking him. It wasn't a knock. It's just how highly I thought of him. And he did it.
And Bull,
he had another level.
As evidence, you gave the fact that he hasn't had a good December yet. Now, that was huge. He only had 1 sack in the last 3 games, but if you go back, his November was insane.
Right.
His November is where he won the record, and typically September was his best month.
And he went downhill.
October, November, December.
Right.
His November had to be the best month of his career.
And while statistically, in terms of sacks, December was his worst, December/January, that was just more teams so focused on it. It wasn't like he was playing poorly. It was just that they were so obsessed with stopping him, it became such a priority. It's crazy. By the way, you mentioned Andre Schmidt. I said he should have been cut after week 1. Obviously, I was wrong. Now the Browns should not do something stupid. Last time they had a kicker have a good season.
Don't sign him right away.
They gave him a big extension. No need to do that. Let him prove it again.
I agree with you. And I think because of what happened last time, they won't. By the way, we haven't touched on this yet. It almost became a factor in the football game. And I know Cincinnati missed 1 extra point, right?
Two. Well, the first one was blocked.
The first one was blocked. They missed 2. When those 2 ridiculous, first of all, I don't think that should be a penalty. When you jump and turn into the end zone, and I know the significance of it, it should not be a penalty.
I think it's stupid to do it, but I also think it's stupid.
It was dumb for the first guy to do it. The second one is inexcusable.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
And Andre Schmidt's over there going, bro, you just set me back to a 48-yard field goal.
Nailed them both right down the middle.
The first one, go back and look, went over the net.
Could not have kicked it.
The first one would have been good from 70 yards.
When it comes to player discipline, I usually disagree with you. But today, sir, you're spot on.
Yeah, that was beyond stupid.
What are you doing?
That
was really stupid.
We already got 115.
So